Aditya Dubey, a 16-year-old activist, is on a mission. He hopes to draw the attention of fellow citizens to the government's proposed amendments to India's environment law. He is hosting an online satyagrah, a peaceful protest against the proposed changes which are laid out in the Environment Impact Assessment or EIA 2020.
The draft EIA 2020 clearly reflects the intent of the government to give preference to development at the cost of the environment, without realizing that if the environment is destroyed, then the economy cannot survive in a vacuum.
Environmentalists say the amendments will simplify the assessment process and shut out the public from having a say on how projects get environmental clearance. The most controversial of the proposed changes is a provision for post facto clearance. That means a project that is already operating in violation of the Environment Protection Act can be granted retrospective approval. Environmental researcher Kanchi Kohli says it'll harm businesses in the long run.
So the EIA process was never brought into countries like India to stop investments, to stop businesses from running. It was brought in to ensure that there is a safety net or environmental safety net around business practice. When a business does not comply, it leads to conflicts around the area, which is not good for business.
Opposition parties allege that the government is serving only a select few.
Those few industrialists who we've been, as an opposition party, accusing the Prime Minister of hobnobbing with, of surrendering policy to them. He is least interested in environment. He's only interested in some friends, corporate friends. He only empowers them.
Despite the backlash, the Indian government believes these amendments successfully strike a balance between economic growth and environmental protection.
This policy in itself gives a proper mechanism of analyzing environmental cost and then extracting those costs from the project owners and promoters.
The ministry has held meetings with several consultants, industry bodies and companies whose comments are being considered separately. The draft policy was published for comments and received nearly 1.7 million responses. How these responses shape the final draft will send a clear message about where the government's priorities lie. Ishan Russel, TRT World, New Delhi.